Coming from a married couple who investigates all things supernatural, most people forget one side of investigating, the everyday human side. Before investigating, they had to learn everything that's involved with cases, all the while balancing their marriage, family life, friendships, and work life. Twisted Ascensions brings an inside look at how their marriage works on and off cases, spreading the knowledge they've learned over the years about trauma, drug abuse, dealing with spiritual gifts, protection work, and so much more. Dive into the world of a paranormal couple that doesn't shy away from hard questions, but rather offers raw and unfiltered answers. Listen to the good, bad, and ugly stories of various topics and hear from other investigators, past clients, and colleagues within the field. Now, your host of Twisted Ascensions, Caden and Alyssa Mask.
Hello, everybody. Good Friday night. It has been a murderous week for sure, and I don't mean that in a good way usually. It's been a crazy week, but you know what? Tonight, it's about to get even better because we have Keith Ottersberg on with us tonight. I'm running solo. Alyssa's at work, so it's just going to be us guys just chit-chatting. And Keith has an amazing resume, absolutely amazing, but he started experiencing the paranormal activity since he was 6 years old. First encounter he had traumatized him deeply, so throughout his life, the paranormal activity surrounding has had a negative impact on several of his relationships. As he aged, the activity began to intensify, and he needed to find answers. That's why the house, etc. Keith has had his home investigated twice by two different teams. During that time, others began to contact him for help. He arranged several investigations for one of those teams. In exchange, was allowed time to investigate with them and learn. Eventually, he created his own team, and Cobra Paranormal was born. He received help from some very special people and was able to end the oppression of paranormal activity in his own life. It is because of this that Keith feels compelled to help others do the same. And that's really what it is about. And without further ado, we're going to bring him straight in because I have missed my brother from another mother. So here we are, Keith, the man.
Hey there.
What's up, my friend?
Oh, too much and not enough, man. Let me tell you, it's been a hell of a ride.
It really has. I mean, before we got on here, you was talking about the retrograde. It has whooped my ass. It's
been a little interesting. Hey, Christy. I'm just going to throw this out real quick, if you don't mind. A lot of people are coming through on the chat as simply Facebook user. So if you see your comment and it just says Facebook user, maybe type your name in parentheses so we know who you are.
Yep, absolutely. And if you are watching the live show, if you go to WLTK-DB, the group, you find the event where we're live on right now. There's a little StreamYard, www.streamyard, with a whole bunch of craziness on there. Click it, press accept, come back into the chat. We'll be able to see you then.
There you go.
But hello, everybody. Come on in. I see Christy. I see Lisa. I see Renee. I see a bunch of Lisas, actually. Dawn. Oh, man.
Hello, everybody. Just so you know, I am also streaming this out to a couple of my StreamYard pages. So we're getting a little more exposure out there.
Good deal. Hey, I love it. Everybody needs to listen when you're talking, don't you think?
Absolutely.
There you go. Can never go wrong. So, Keith, for those people who do not know you, kind of give us a rundown. You know, what happened? Everybody heard your intro, but let's just dive right in it, man. What in the hell happened?
Dive in the deep end.
That's it.
Yeah. My life is going to make a hell of a book and an even better movie. One of these days, hopefully very soon, maybe getting some contacts set up.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, this all started when I was 6. I was at a lake and had to pee. Outhouse way up on the hill. I'm 6. There's a bush halfway up, and see something kind of shimmering out of the corner of my eye. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground, and so I hightailed it back. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't know what the hell happened. Nobody believed me, and that night I had my first very, very traumatic paranormal experience. I saw something that nobody else could. It scared the living hell out of me. My mom walked right through it on her way to my bed, and kept telling me nothing's there, nothing's there. Well, it was still there, and it was trying to get to me. And so, what does a 6-year-old do when mom goes back to bed? Hides under the covers. I don't want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Heard something. You don't have to be. Like, cool. Struck a deal. Didn't even know it. So from that time till now, about 5 years ago, when the Dead Files and Spirit Mechanix came, that thing was in here. It wasn't just me. Nobody knew just me. They knew me and that thing. Sometimes it was me, but sometimes it was just that thing. As a result of that thing, every house we moved into, including the house we lived in at that time, was haunted.
Yeah, just followed you around.
Well, not only did it follow me around, it was inside me, so it moved with us.
Right.
But
it attracted other things.
It affected my other family members as well. So anytime we moved, mom was drawn to a house that already had haunting, which this thing used to feed the fire.
Yeah.
And then when I moved out, same thing. Every house me and my first wife moved into, same thing. Second wife, same thing. Girlfriend, same thing. It didn't matter. And so, I started investigating in order to learn about what was happening, because I didn't understand it. And things were getting worse. And so I contacted a couple teams to come in. My house in Beatrice, my house here. And, naturally they got evidence. We were actually investigated multiple times, 2 or 3 different teams, and they all got evidence and stuff, but nobody could ever figure out why anything was happening. And nothing bad happened when they were there, because the damn thing was hiding in the best place it could.
Yeah.
I ain't coming out. So kept looking. Eventually I formed my own team after being invited to be on another team out of Lincoln. And I agreed to join again to learn better my owning skills and whatnot to get more evidence to figure out what the hell's going on.
Right.
Eventually formed my own team. We got evidence here. Couldn't figure out why. In fact, the team that I was on in Lincoln, after I separated from them, interesting circumstances on that, but that's another story. They actually told everybody I was lying.
What?
Yeah, because they couldn't never get any evidence of any bad things happening. And I was to the point where I did not want them to come because I was afraid something was going to happen to them.
Right.
And yeah, a couple of team members didn't believe me and started, talking. So that's all right. I got some of their followers.
It's the greatest karma.
Right. So again, formed my own team. We started looking. We started helping some other people. Did have some successful cases. We had success on about every case, actually. Had to go back a couple times, but that's okay. And I kept trying to figure out how in the hell I was going to figure this out. And I'm sitting here watching TV, and all of a sudden one night, all these paranormal shows are on. I'm like, So I started investigating the paranormal shows that were on, looking for maybe one of them that could offer me some help.
Right.
And none of them were right. None of them were right. A few weeks later, I popped TV on. There's Amy Allen's face. Dead Files. That's who I'm on. Just knew. Didn't know how I knew, but I knew.
Just a gut feeling.
Absolutely. And so I emailed and I called and I emailed and I emailed. And I think they got tired of me emailing finally. And they finally emailed me back. And I actually got a phone call. And they vet their clients very strictly. It took about 3 years in order for them to agree to come out.
The vetting process was 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Some probably don't go that long, but my activity was on again, off again. The closer I got to the show, everything quit. You know,
Right.
and if they had, you know, it got to the point where we had nothing for 6 months and they wanted evidence of stuff happening. And, you know, they called me up. Hey, we got a couple cases with some kids over here and they're pretty nasty. I'm like, go.
Yeah.
Go. We're okay here right now. Go. And about a year went by and it got pretty bad. So I got back a hold of them, and the producer that I had talked to got transferred to another show. So I had to start the whole process over again.
Oh, dude.
But they finally did agree to come out. And I was on city council at that time, believe it or not.
Hey.
Imagine trying to hide the fact that this TV production company that has contacted the city council and the library and everybody else isn't coming to your house.
Yeah. I can imagine that a lot of people were just kind of side-eyeing you like, what's going on, bud?
Yeah, and I
What's going
was
on?
trying to get the council to agree to let them use the library here in town and shoot places here in town. They wouldn't do it. So Dead Files went to Lincoln. You know, other places to film, you know, and a lot of people who watched the show had issues with that. Why this? Why that? Politics. You know, they didn't want their town involved in paranormal stuff.
Right.
Even though paranormal stuff can put your name back on the map. So that's all right.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We just got done dealing with it this year.
Yeah.
And small town politics will kill it.
Oh man, it's nuts. It's nuts. And so we got her done. We got it filmed, and Amy finally figured out what the issue was, and she didn't figure that out until she saw me. We were sitting right over in that other room at a table that I still have upstairs. They bought this table specifically for this
show
filming. Yes, because Amy said my table was too tall. So they went out and bought a table, and then they let me keep it. So thank you. And I still have it.
There you go. You got a souvenir.
Yeah, it actually survived the fire. By the way, which is why my home looks like it does. It's kind of unfinished.
Dude, the last time that
Get to that.
me and you spoke on live, I mean, you hadn't even had the second floor done yet.
Yeah.
You're still working on it. It looks amazing in there right now.
Thank you. But we were sitting there, and the stairs are just around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there, and Amy comes down. I look up, and she looks up at me and makes eye contact, and you should have seen the look on her face. It scared me. And I figured out what the problem was.
So when she looked at you, you said it was scared. Like, did she look at you? Was she scared herself, or was she kind of go into that state of, I know what you are, I see you, I'm coming for you?
She was horrified. That's the way I understood the look on her face. And I don't think they showed that in the show. But they should have.
Yeah.
So they sat down. Steve gave his evidence. You know, she ran through, her run through, and they did the pictures and everything. And, the whole time, Amy's on this underneath the table. Spirit Mechanix. Hey, how fast can you get to Nebraska? How fast do you need us now?
Wow.
So Spirit Mechanix got a hold of me the next day. And, they've got a vetting process as well. They need to make sure their clients aren't crazy on drugs, what have you. I get it. We vet our clients. And I'm just going to throw this out. If you're having activity, you should also vet your investigators.
Very important.
Yeah. Do background.
Very important.
If I help you on a case, do a background check on me. I don't care. That way you feel safe. We feel safe. Everybody needs to know that you're getting the kind of help that you need.
Absolutely.
Who you need it from. Yeah, Steve got a hold of me, and it took a bit, but they got up here as soon as they could. And, naturally, when they were on the way up from Kentucky, that's a good jump. That's 12, 13 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a good drive.
Yeah, anything that could go wrong did go wrong. Snow, floods, this, that, the other thing. But by God, they made it, and they got me helped. And he allowed part of my team to be here during the process to witness it and to help with it. And when they were done, he stopped me in the living room and said, "Hey, I like what I see here. Would you like to become the Nebraska chapter of Spirit Mechanix?" I'm like, hell yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Normally I back out and I say no. I just said yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh crap, what did I just agree to?
It's like, oh yeah. I sure did say yes, but oh man, can I take it back? No. Okay.
Oh, I am so glad I didn't.
So let's take it back just for a quick second. So you were 6 years old, in bed. Something was scaring the shit out of you, and unbeknownst to you, because what 6-year-old is immediately going to think of? I better be careful how I say things because I might unintentionally make a deal. There's not one, that's my personal opinion. There's not one. So once you made that deal, your adolescence. So from 6 to how old were you whenever, let's say 6 to 18? 6 to 18.
Okay.
Did anybody else in your family ever see or hear this thing? Did your family ever say that from that night, like there was an immediate difference in you? Or was it just as you got older, it progressively got worse?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. The big changes came probably, no, I can't say that. Because grade school, I was always the littlest kid in my class. I'm 5'6". I haven't changed heights, since high school. So,
Yeah.
I was always the smallest kid in class, and I was always the one that get picked on, and I'd never do anything about it. And after this thing hopped in me, somebody picked on me, I would start beating the shit out of them with my metal lunch pail. I put up with a lot of crap in high school. And one day, this is actually how I got my nickname. I had just bought a 76 Cobra 2 Mustang. And
nice.
One of the senior football players was in the park by the school and giving me crap. And he's, 6'2", 6'3", 220. And I beat the shit out of him before anybody even saw me swing.
Jeez.
And so it just kind of stuck. So this thing, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It caused a lot of conflict that it didn't need to. A lot of conflict in my relationships. Since it's been removed, I got a hold of a lot of my ex-girlfriends, especially the ones from high school and whatever. And I'm like, why did we break up? And they're like, I have no idea. I can't remember either.
Right.
When Steve pulled this thing out of me, it took half to 3/4 of my life with it. Memories.
Just gone.
Yeah. Just gone.
Jeez. So do you remember, like, did it ever fully take possession of you to where you have loss of time, where you did things that you knew that you had no recollection after that? I know now you say when they got rid of it, it took a lot of your memories, but the memories that you have left, do you remember that being a thing? The loss of time?
I I do now. Back then when it was happening, I knew I wasn't here for a while.
Yeah.
The wife would tell me I did things that I wouldn't normally do. I said things I wouldn't normally say. My eyes were black. My voice changed. My face changed. And it scared the crap out of them, which kind of scared the crap out of me too. Because that ain't normal.
No, it's not.
That ain't me.
No.
So I've got witnesses to it that have seen it, multiple. My first wife, the girlfriend in between, my second wife, friends.
Yeah. Well, the first time that me and you spoke, it was on your show, I believe, or it was Lorelai's. It was one of y'all's shows.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I told you when you told me that you were possessed for so many years. I was like, man, that's just another thing we have in common.
Yeah.
I was possessed for 8 months, on and off for 8 months. It started out as just oppression like it normally did. And then within 4 months, it was full on possessions.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to get more into it because it's hard for me to talk to other people that I know are telling the truth about being possessed. And there's things that I'm curious about. Are they alike? Are they different? Because I don't remember. Some people say when they're possessed and they lost that time, that they felt like they were, seeing out of their eyes, but they had no control of their body. And then other people would say they have no recollection at all. Then some people would say that they could hear but not see. I couldn't hear or see. It was blank. I mean, it's like I went to sleep and I woke up.
Yeah. I'm here 1 minute. I'm back 3 hours later.
Yep. I mean, and it was over the dumbest of things, too. I'd be going to the bathroom at 8 o'clock at night, and then the next thing I know, it's 2 a.m., and I'm outside in the middle of my yard, just like.
Yeah. I'm in the garage working on a car. And 2 or 3 hours later, I'm on the front porch, locked out of my house, calling my wife. What happened?
Jeez.
Evidently, I dropped a wrench and then lost it. So
Wow.
I noticed a comment here. It's Facebook user. I'm not sure who this is. But I went to school with Keith. Some days he was the fun Keith. Other days he was the most angry person ever. So Facebook, if you could tell me who you are, I would appreciate it.
Lisa Oxier.
Oh, Lisa. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. She's actually on my paranormal team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I have to pull it up because where you're looking at the computer, it's going to say Facebook user. So I have it pulled up on my phone as well. That way I can kind of keep up with who is who. All right. Well, nobody go anywhere. We're going to go ahead and take our first break real quick. It's just a short little break. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We have Keith Ottersberg with us tonight. We are talking about his life. That is going to be a book and then probably a movie one day. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Looking for a unique paranormal experience? The Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon, October 7th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is just the event you're looking for. You will have the opportunity to investigate the Haunted Rock Island YMCA with ACG Paranormal. Visit with over 60 paranormal and metaphysical vendors from 8 or more states. And pre-order your t-shirts at dvinar@aol.com. Visit a psychic gallery reading, mediums, tea leaf reading, animal communication, dream interpretation, aura reading, tarot and oracle card readings, or get a Reiki healing. See a demonstration of the Estes method by Carly Bird. Presentations by Nick Simons and Aaron G. Thompson of 28 Days Haunted. Greg Bakken from Ghostbox Radio and headliner Rick Hayes, along with many folks you'll see on Paraflix. Be sure to like and follow our sponsors. Paraflix, WLTK-DB Talk Radio LLC, Studio 6 Productions, Unturned Pages, and Ocean Eye Crystals. General admission is only $5 and all proceeds go directly to the haunted Rock Island YMCA. For more information on the haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon and vendors, look for them on Facebook under events.
And we're back.
Hey.
Hey. Welcome back to the show, folks. This is Twisted Ascensions. My name is Caden. Our guest tonight is the Keith Ottersberg of the Otter's Den and founder of Cobra Paranormal. Tonight, we're talking about his life experiences into the possessed, into working, creating his own paranormal team, Cobra Paranormal, working with Spirit Mechanix and Amy Allen from the Dead Files.
Yes.
So before we took the break, we were talking, I kind of took you back because I had a couple of questions about the possession part of it. But so when you reached out to Amy, you mentioned that it was a 3-year vetting process when you finally reached out.
Yeah.
So because I understand what you're talking about, when you have these other teams come in, they try to help you. They could never find anything because whenever something is leached onto you, like these things do, they're just like Bigfoot. They are the hide and go seek champion for real. Like they're just going to be like, no, we're going to make you seem crazy so that nobody believes you.
Correct.
And that's what you said basically happened. You had a lot of friends at that time, you considered your friends and teammates that just didn't believe you, thought that you were a mental case. I'm assuming, right?
I didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about it to my friends, to my family. I just didn't talk about it.
Really?
For that reason.
So while you were helping, because I'm assuming that's what got you interested in the paranormal, was this thing attaching to you. You wanted to know what it was and how to fix it. So then you created your own paranormal team and you started helping other people immediately, or did you just start with like haunted locations and then it progressed to private clients?
We started, well, I'd already been helping people on the other teams. I got to help one large team because I would set up investigations down here for them, for other people that were having paranormal activity, and they would allow me to help investigate. Well,
right.
That team split into two. You know, they kept talking about add me. It was kind of the guys separated from the gals, and the guys kept talking about adding me to the team, and it never happened. And then all of a sudden, the girls were like, "Hey, you want to join our team?"
Yeah,
sure. What the hell?
Right.
And eventually, there was a split there, and I formed my own team.
That's George Shoplin saying no bull. In my eyes, Keith is a legend.
George, how you doing, brother? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. George is an awesome individual.
He really is. That man, I'm telling you, he's going to change the paranormal field.
You're not wrong.
Just his positivity. It's unmatched. Unmatched.
Yes, absolutely.
So how were you able to help people while dealing with your own stuff? Because a lot of people in the field, investigators, researchers, hunters, whatever they call themselves, most of them, they don't understand how, if you are experiencing an ailment of your own, or if you're experiencing activity of your own that you can't fix, how are you able to help somebody else?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm stubborn.
There you go.
I'm stubborn. I'm a Scorpio, Aries, Sagittarius. Screw that thing. These people need help. I know what they're going through. I've been through it. If I can help them, I'm going to. And if I couldn't help them, if my team couldn't help them, we try to steer them to somebody that could.
I mean, that's... Oh, there we go. That was Cheryl saying he's my bro. Cheryl and Elliot Fletcher.
Cheryl. Just real quick.
Go ahead.
I gotta say thank you to Cheryl again. She helped me cross something off my bucket list. I've been sharing a link out. She's been sharing a link out. October 1st, if you're around Lincoln, Nebraska area, go to the Yojo Theater up there. There is a movie playing and you might see a familiar face.
I've seen it floating around. It looks like it's going to be a good time.
Open so.
A good time.
So,
I'm very proud of her. I'm pretty stoked about being able to watch the movie eventually. I won't be able to make it out to Nebraska, but
understandable.
hopefully when it goes to the streaming services, I'm all over it.
Yeah, it will be the premiere of that movie at the theater. So I had the opportunity to go watch it early, and at Cheryl's house, and I declined. And my reasoning for that is I've seen my face on TV. I haven't seen my face on a big screen. So I want to see my face on a big screen the first time on a big screen.
There you go. There you go. And it's always, it is different watching yourself, going back on these lives and watching yourself on here, as opposed to sitting in a theater or a Coliseum or whatever the case and seeing it on that massive screen.
Yeah, it's going to be surreal.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that'll help get me somewhere. Who knows? Hoping so.
See, Linda Nelson said, I understand how we can help people when we are going through the same thing we are. I don't really know what it is. It might be the universe showing what we need to work through, but it seems... Oh, sorry. There we go. But it seems to be almost a catalyst to do the work on myself while helping another through something similar.
Yes, hair standing up in the arm. That's verification. I don't know how many times while advising clients, I would advise myself. While teaching clients, I would learn myself. That's why me and my team are doing what we do, Cobra Paranormal. We've been on kind of a hiatus for the last couple of years. Me with my health fire, some other members with some health stuff and whatnot. We've been helping people individually here and there, but not taking on cases as per se. I did get to help on a couple of Dead Files cases with the Spirit Mechanix. That was an amazing experience. I got to see how they work. They got to see how I work, and we worked really well together. So I will be seeing my brothers this year at Scarefest in October. I cannot wait to hook up with them again and do the thing.
Absolutely. So you reached out to Amy, went through the vetting process. She came. She's seen something in you. And Spirit Mechanix, for anybody who doesn't know or is just joining us, Spirit Mechanix is the paranormal team or the cleansing team that Amy Allen from the Dead Files basically brings in after she's done with the clients.
Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So when y'all had, because I have made myself not watch your episode for a reason, because I wanted to talk to you one-on-one about it. Since the first time I talked to you, I really wanted to watch it. And I'm like, no, I want to talk to him more before I watch it, because I want to understand the backstory first,
I got you.
So when she sat down, I'm assuming she sat down like she does, like actually in the series, and she's like, this is what I found. And then, the investigator, his name left me. Steve, thank you. Steve sits down and tells you what he has as well. Were they able to tell you exactly what it was?
Some of the things. And Amy actually didn't tell me everything that was here. Just hit on the high points. Limited time filming, limited time TV. But she didn't tell me everything. She didn't say everything on the show, just the high points. There was quite a bit more that was here that was found than what she talked about. But it was all taken care of. It was all found, all dealt with, and it's all gone.
So is it one of those, once it's gone, you won't talk about it?
I can't say it's all gone.
Okay.
Because there's one that its thinking was changed, and now it protects the house and the property instead of attacking the house and the property.
Okay, so it switched teams, basically.
Yeah, it kind of had no choice.
Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about you. A big fae. Goat head, horns, muscular human body. It this. So I built a protection jar and caught it, and I buried it for 6 months. And after the mechanics came, I'm like, you know what? Let's get that damn thing back out. And we had a talk. Actually, we had to listen. I talked, it listened. And it was actually from a blood curse from my family when my family was still in Germany. One of my forefathers killed a fae, did something to a fae. They cursed the firstborn male of every generation. And this thing, it's a protector. It is a protector. That is his job. It was protecting the fae from the family. So we had that talk, and it's like, you can live here, you can stay here. I'll guarantee you, I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt anybody. If you help protect the fae that are here, as well as me, my family, my pets, and we've been cool ever since. He gives me crap all the time.
I got actual chicken skin right now. I know you can't see it on there because me and you have never spoken personally about what you thought it was or anything about your possession. And as soon as you said blood curse, I had a case. Our very first fake case was a blood curse.
Yep.
Just so happened, it couldn't be something easy for us. It had to be a blood curse.
Yeah.
And luckily, we had no idea that's what it was. I knew that it wasn't spirit, it wasn't a ghost, and it wasn't any elemental I had ever done research on. But I knew what he said. He described seeing around his woods. I knew what he said was going on in his home. And I reached out to our astral team and I told them what was going on. And I reached out to my mentor, told her what was going on. And she's like, I need you to go back to the house and I need you just to follow your intuition and tell me what smells you smell. And she told me, if you smell this or if you feel like this touches your eyes, call me and leave immediately. I was like, okay. And so I went back and I told her what I felt. And she's like, I need you to go to this water. And I'm like, what water? And I'm like, I'm here. You're not. What water are you talking about? She's like, walk about 100 yards to your left. There's going to be a stream. There's going to be a bridge over that. I'm like, okay.
Little creek, yeah.
Yep. It's like, okay. So I went underneath there. And she was like, all right, I want you to find this and this and this. I'm like, girl, you're killing me here. I look underneath there, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, I see it. And she's like, all right, do you got a cigarette on you? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you have anything else? And I'm like, I have nothing. Like, I can come back with some stuff, but that's all I got. And she's like, you're already there. This is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to do.
Little offering.
Yep. And she's like, that's going to protect you while you're there, not him. But this is you. We got to handle you first. I was like, okay, whatever you say. Like, could you tell me? She eventually told me who I was dealing with and why you were describing Big Man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was dealing with.
Yeah.
Well, to an extent, is yours like a goat man hybrid?
Goat legs.
Yep.
There's a name for it, and it's escaping me.
It starts with the G, I want to say, because I have been trying to figure it out because I did research on him, and I can't remember what he is.
Hang on.
He's a protector. He is related to, I want to say all, but it may just be most blood curses. And he is within the hierarchy of the unseelie or the seelie, right? Works directly below or directly with the queen.
Yeah, it wasn't a minotaur. Minotaurs have a hole. Right. I can see it in my head. Name is not. It's stuck.
It's right there. For years, I've been trying to remember what this freaking name is. and I'm gonna have to research it again. But so you found out it was a blood curse, and I know because of different practices, we can't go into what you did. It was some extreme shit that you had to do, I'm sure, to break that blood curse.
The protection jar was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
In order to catch it.
Yeah.
And I had to convince it, which it took a bit. It took a while. It wasn't just a, hey, you're going to do this.
Yeah, no, that ain't going to work.
I wasn't going to order it. I wasn't going to demand it. I wasn't going to force it. It's either we're doing this or you're going back in the ground. I gave it a choice. You can do this or you can do this. Your decision. So in a way, it kind of had no choice, but yet it did have a choice.
Yeah.
But I explained very specifically what had happened and why it had been placed in the job that it had been placed at. And that job was no longer needed. It needed a new job.
Okay.
So now it has a new job protecting whoever is living here on this property. So when I pass, it's going to protect the next. If it chooses to stay here.
Right. Very nice. Good night, Cheryl. Thank you for tuning in.
Night.
That is, man, I can't even imagine the weight that was lifted off your shoulders after getting through that.
It's huge.
I mean, I cannot imagine. But on the flip side, how freaking cool is it that he's now protecting you?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you got probably one of the greatest and most badass protectors.
You're not wrong. Yeah. And there's George. He stays in the basement. Naturally, we got Plank. He's watching the front door tonight. So, people ask me, is your house still haunted? I can't exactly say no.
Yeah.
Because my spirit guides are here. My spirit animals are here. I have some very specific protectors here, such as George and Plank. And you sure as hell don't want to astral travel into my home if you don't have permission. You will get torn up.
A lot of people, when they think about astral traveling, it sounds cool. It's awesome. Trust me, I tried for years to do it. I'm just somebody that's not meant to astral travel, and that's okay. But my wife is. Mm-hmm. So I get to live through her when she does it. And a lot of people, when they hear astral traveling, of, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to try to do it. And then let's say they do.
Until you wake up with cuts and bruises because you got into it with something that you might not have been quite ready to handle.
Exactly. And you just can't, like you said, go into somebody's home all willy-nilly because you don't know spiritually who has that person's back or who has that person's property.
Yeah, you really got to be careful. If you're on a team and you go into somebody's home to help them, if you experience something and you don't know what it is, back up, back out, figure it out before you try to take care of it, because not everything that looks big and bad is big and bad.
Exactly.
Some things are here to protect. Some things have jobs to do. Mm-hmm. Some things may have been on the land before anybody was there, and they are still protecting something on that land. It could be something as simple as a very special rock that was special to the natives. It could be an energy field. We don't know. Daemons versus demons. Yeah. Daemons have a job to do. They are placed here to help keep the balance. Yep. Demons are not. And they look very similar. Mm-hmm. On one case, we came across something that looked, how do I want to describe this? It was huge, flaming, angry. It turned out to be a native spirit that had been burned at the stake. So I used Reiki and pushed water energy onto the spirit. And the next thing you know, there's this native standing here in front of me with dripping wet hair going, how'd you do that? Yeah. Your door's right over there. Mm-hmm. So you got to figure it out. If you go in and try to start taking things out, you can get hurt. And
absolutely,
you get hurt, The clients can get hurt. You can make things worse. A lot of people don't believe in fae and fairies and trolls and this and that. There's a reason why those fairy tales came to be. TV movies, they tell a lot of truth without telling the truth. The stuff is out there. If you don't want to believe me, that is your choice. I have dealt with it. You have dealt with it. Other people watching have dealt with it. It's out there. Yeah. So you got to be prepared to run into anything. Wendigos are particularly interesting. Just saying.
I don't know if 6 years ago, had you told me, I would believe in more than just spirits and ghosts, for sure. Of course, I believed in the possibilities of all things cryptids and fae. I wanted to, especially werewolves. That is my thing. Werewolves. I love Dogman. I love the bipedal canine. I love it all. Wendigo, shapeshifters, and this is Wendigo, but skinwalkers. Those are my weaknesses. In the sense of, if I could right now quit my job and study them for the rest of my life and just live off the land, that's exactly what I would do. Because the stories behind them, whether it be Wendigo, whether it be just a shapeshifter, whether it be skinwalker, are so fascinating. And if you find the right kind of research, are so complex that it's almost beautiful how it's done. It's beautiful how it's done. Not centaur either, Courtney. Centaurs, that's the bull head with...
That's the horse, half man, half horse.
Half man, half horse.
Yeah.
What do you like about Wendigos, though? Because I think that I've encountered one spiritually, not on my realm, but while I accessed another realm. But I don't know. I don't know if it was a Wendigo or if it was something that wanted me to think it was.
I actually experienced one at a local lake south of town. I go out there and I'm sitting in the parking lot. I'm just thinking, this is after I got myself back, and I'm having a rough day. And I go out there and I got my jams going. I got a beer. I got the windows down, and I feel something. I'm like, oh, hang on. And I turned the radio down and I looked over, and I literally saw this thing standing there. There were other people around. They couldn't see it. I did. I saw it. And the hair's standing up on the back. I just said, hey, this is who I am. This is what happened to me. I'm here just to enjoy some of your peace. I notice people are leaving trash all over. I'll make you a deal. Every time I come out here, I'll have a bag with me. I'll pick up some of the trash and take it home with me if you allow me this space to have my peace in. And he said, cool. Okay.
And that was it.
And later on, we had a case in Nebraska with another one. They live right near a park. And so this thing was actually feeding off of the children playing in the park, not eating them like the stories go, like the lore goes, but feeding off of them, like an entity will draw energy from you.
Right.
And it was causing some stuff. Well, that one was a female. This one at the lake was male. So I got the bright idea of going out and talking to this guy and saying, hey, you're never going to guess who we found up in Lincoln. And he's like, so I told him what was going on. And he's like, I'll make you a deal. I'll introduce you if you take her out somewhere else. It's like, cool. So we used a Wendigo to get rid of a Wendigo.
Nice.
And I kid you not, I have witnesses. I have the clients, team members. We're sitting down on the back deck. They're doing their thing, and you could hear it. You could audibly hear it. And then they were gone.
We were at the Monroe House in Indiana on an investigation. It was the first time we were ever there. And we had heard stories about it. That's why we wanted to go. But nobody had ever talked about Wendigo experiences or Skinwalker experience. Nothing like that. Nothing of the sort. They just talked about something would reach out of the cabinets and grab them. I decided in true Caden fashion, to be Mr. Billy Badass the first time that I went to this house. I got dealt with appropriately and very quickly. But while I was attempting meditation in the basement, I was blindfolded, not really doing an Estes method. I was just blindfolded, letting my other senses get used to the basement. Just whatever. And I said out loud, whatever wants to show itself to me, feel free. Whatever wants to talk to me, feel free. I'm here to listen and watch. That's it. And I started hearing clicking noises. And I'm like, that's weird. And I had all 4 team members were down there with me. My wife and the 3 other ladies. And I was telling them, because I'm sitting in the chair and I have this video still to this day. And you see that I'm blindfolded. I'm just sitting in the chair and I'm pointing. I'm like, they're coming from the rafters and they're coming from the crawl space under the house. And I'm like, I can't see them yet. It's almost like they want to communicate, but they don't know how. They're just clicking, almost like bats echolocate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started thinking to myself, I'm like, don't be scared. Like, you're not going to scare me. Whatever you look like, it doesn't matter to me. I don't want you to be scared or to be scared to show yourself. And I'm going to show you a picture. This was back in 2018. And after I seen them, I seen 3. No, I seen 4, because it was what I perceived to be an adult and 2 smaller ones in the crawl space. Okay. And then what I called Big Papa came underneath the stairwell, like opened a portal, stood up, looked at me, and then went back down. And he did scare me. But the ones that were under the crawl space, I'm going to try to turn that. That was the closest representation that I could find. They were completely just gray-skinned, long limbs, but they did have little bitty horns, like little button horns that went back. There were 6 on one of the smaller ones. No tail, no genitalia, just a smooth body, but they were gray. The no nose, it was almost like a snake, just the 2. I always said Voldemort, just the 2 little slits. Very weird. Big Papa, however, I did find a picture that almost exactly represents him and looks like him, with the exception of the antlers are different, or the horns that he had or showed himself were different.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But he had these, I just remember when he stood up, he was massive. I mean, his arms hung down like past his knees. That's how long his limbs were. But his horns were not like a deer or anything like that. It was almost like a ram. It was really, really weird. And I didn't know what it was at the time. And I even told my followers and I told my team, I'm like, I'm not saying it's a Wendigo. I was like, but they shown me a ritual of how they were created. They weren't born this way. They were created at birth this way. I was like, so take that as you may.
Right.
That was the only time I ever experienced it, though. And I wish I could experience it again. But it wasn't in my realm. It was in their realm. They just showed me.
I've seen things like that out in the woods and things.
I need to hang out with you because I want to see them too.
The Wendigo that I saw looked more like, just, how do I want to explain this? Okay. Apes.
Yep.
You got your gorillas, you got your chimpanzees, you got your orangutans.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same kind of animal, but different subspecies. So in the Fae world, why can't it be the same thing? Different forms of Wendigos, different forms of this, different
Yeah.
form of that. We
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my interpretation of it, and different people's interpretation of what they have seen when seeing a Wendigo or this.
See, much like you, I wasn't scared of them. I didn't feel like they wanted to harm me. I
Yeah.
felt like they were demanding respect,
Well,
which
sure.
I understood.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was more or less like they were interested as to why I was specifically wanting to talk to them or interact with them. So they were kind of like, do we want to, do we not, do we want to, do we not? And then when Big Papa came up, they left. Like the three of them left, like they were about to get in trouble. And he just looked at me, and I got this feeling of being a child, being in trouble at school, and my principal yelling at me. And I was like, shit, I'm sorry. And then he just went away as quick as he came. And it wasn't until several investigations, because we went back multiple times, I never encountered them again, but I knew that they were there because I felt them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the third time, fourth time that we went that I learned that the ritual that they showed me of being, they were turned at birth. So they were born, they had to survive the first couple of days, and then the ritual was performed that turned them into what they were for the sole purpose of protecting land. That was their sole purpose.
There you go. They didn't by chance tell you who performed the ceremony, did they?
The only thing, they did not speak to me. They just shown me.
Okay.
But what I did see was
like an elder version of it.
No, actually, it was human. It was a Native American looking man with long, and I mean long, like almost touched the back of his heels, long gray hair. He had a thorn and bone crown that had feathers draped over his face. So it was here all the way around, feathers.
All right.
As
That would have some sense.
As far as like the clothing went, the only thing that I remember sticking out, because it's almost like wearing a paper bag. I mean, I couldn't tell where it started, where it ended. It was just like a long cloak.
Okay.
Dress thing. But I mean, that's all it was. And they were in a cave, because I remember that. I was like, they're in a cave. I can see that this cave entrance is within like a canyon, and not just like one canyon, but this is like multiple interconnectings where if you don't know that it's there, you're going to get lost and die, because you at the bottom of the canyon looking up, I remember it seeming like it just touched the sky. Like there was no way you could just climb yourself out of there.
So like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I guess I've never been, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was just deep in there though. And it wasn't cold.
That actually makes complete sense. It really does.
I'm glad it does to you, because all these years it never made sense to me.
Because that's one story in the lore about how shapeshifters become. Mm-hmm. Shapeshifters is to protect tribes, to protect lands.
Right.
They just knew a lot more than we know.
Oh, for sure.
Man.
For sure. 100%. That's why they're so secretive, and I really can't blame them,
Yeah. Now Lisa brings up an interesting point. I did have to remove an elemental from her home.
Really?
That was affecting their entire family. Lisa, do you mind if I talk about that a little bit? I'll wait to talk about that until I see yes or no.
Because I want to hear it if she's cool with it. Because I get sit here and just listen to stories after stories. I mean, I just love it.
I got a feeling you might be able to relate with what I dealt with. We'll find out.
She said, go ahead.
Okay. This thing was a mimic. She would think she's having a conversation with her husband or her son when they weren't home. Vice versa. Mm-hmm. Walk in the house, hear the kid's voice, kid's not there. It would cause different symptoms. division, etc. And these things tend to like dark closets, not light colored, bright closets. Your standard old home, dark closet way off in the corner. And they will show themselves as, they will try to actually show themselves as one of the family members so that you don't think it's them.
Right.
They won't show their true form until they feel in danger. And these things are about, I've ran into several of these. I'm 5'6". They're about like that. So
yeah, they're short. Yeah.
Kind of a whitehead, salamander looking mouth, but thousands of razor sharp teeth. And they look like they are made up of 500 different kinds of insects, all intermingled into each other. And if you're going to grab a hold of one of these, you're going to want to grab a hold of it under its neck so that it cannot, you control that head. Hey there.
Right.
So it cannot turn around and bite you. Made that mistake the first time. But as soon as you touch these things, it will take every trauma you have been through, every fear that you have been through, and put it right there in front of your eyes all at once. So you let go. You do the thing and you let go. Learn how to compensate for that. I got through those traumas and fears. You ain't got nothing on me, dude. We're going outside.
Yeah.
They can change shapes, mimic other people's voices, looks. I just nickname them a shapeshifter. I mean, that's not the true meaning of the shapeshifter, but that's just what I call them. Because for lack of a better name, because I have researched and I cannot find anything like this in any of the lore. I don't know.
Right.
No clue.
Well, man, I related so much to what you said about, there's so many different looks to people, to monkeys, to tigers, to lions. They all look different. Why can't it be the same about these things as well? Elemental space. Why can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I would love to do some more research on it.
See, I've never dealt with a mimic like what you've dealt with. We've had clients where they dealt with the same type of activity, and it wasn't a doppelganger, because that's, in my personal opinion, that's a physical manifestation. This thing did, though, reside in, it wasn't their closet, it was their utility room, which same thing to them, I guess, but it was extremely gnarly. Like, I didn't expect something like that to be as nasty as it was, but they're nasty little things.
There are some very nasty things out there.
Man.
When you talk about, interdimensional beings crossing into our dimension that are not supposed to be here, and you have to try to convince them to go back to their dimension or put them back in their dimension when you don't know what dimension they're from, it gets a little interesting.
You got anything to say about that?
No, I just caught the end of it. I was trying to listen on my way home from work.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
good. Good.
I'm trying to catch up.
Well, he was talking about, like, when you deal with things that are interdimensional, like for you, it'd be you going astrally, trying to remove it from this realm and send it back to its own. How, if you don't know where it goes, it can be
every time I ever done it, it was with the team. So I mean, we always had somebody just for that. So I've never done that. I don't think have I done it? I have.
I was about to say,
yeah, I have.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It was pretty.
Well,
good.
I'm not gonna. You've never done it by yourself where you didn't already know where it came from,
right? Like, it
was
not any question or confusing.
Yeah.
The times that it was, I was in a situation where I had other people to help.
If I run into something like that and I don't know where it goes, I will wait till I go to sleep. And then I will go and I will ask Big Brother to help with the situation.
Right.
And show me where to put.
Yeah.
Do you want it? Do you want it? Or show me where it goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, one of you always going to get it.
One of you is getting in it.
See, I guess with me, and maybe it's reckless. Maybe it is reckless. Where if I could astral and I could remove, because I know how we do things, but if I ever came in contact with something that I wasn't sure where it went, I would just assume if you kind of threw it to the void, that it would just either go back to where it came or it would dissolve, basically, or its energy would change and go somewhere else. I don't know. I can't astral, so I can't tell you what happens. But that to me, is that possible? Can you not just like toss it to the void or toss it into the ether and just hope it gets back where it's supposed to go?
But are we tossing it into the void where it can find somebody else to menace? It finds its way back out of the void.
True. Very true.
We've had that conversation.
We have.
Once or twice.
We have.
They go pretty long.
That's a very good question.
It is.
Because I mean, even I guess in my brain, even if I send it back to its natural realm, if I am not experienced enough to bind it to its realm where it can escape, what stops it from leaving and going to somebody else?
Yeah, it's, if it's got a way out of its dimension, it's got a way out of its dimension.
Yeah.
But if you can, for that client,
mm-hmm.
if you can put it back into its dimension through the portal that it came through, close that portal,
mm-hmm.
it's not going to get back into that home.
Gotcha.
I got you. Look at there. I messed around and learned something. Again.
You effed around and found out.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. So you actually, talking about portals, I got to ask, because I seen your post about putting a mirror back up in your house. And
yes,
naturally, I just kind of thought that maybe, because like, again, I didn't know your situation when it came to something attaching itself and possessing you. Is the mirror related to that, or is it something completely different?
Mirror is something completely different.
Okay.
Yeah, something came through that mirror and tried to pull me through the mirror, pulled me halfway into the mirror.
Jeez.
I actually think the thing that was inside me helped me get out of that mirror. And that mirror has been bound, salted, blessed, taken care of. And it's not going to cause any more issues.
More issues? How long did you have this mirror down before you put it back up?
Well, I didn't put that mirror back up. I put a brand new mirror.
A brand new mirror. Okay, I was about to say, is this the same mirror? Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay.
No, that other one is still bound and salted.
Okay.
This is a brand new one, but it just took that long for me to be able to put a mirror up in that same spot due to the trauma that I went through dealing with that.
I can imagine so.
Yeah, it was interesting. But portals can be in mirrors. They can be in the middle of a room.
Mm-hmm.
They can be outside.
They don't discriminate with their locations at all.
No, they can move.
Mm-hmm.
Portals can move around in your home. These entities can move the portals. You find it, guess what? You go get your team, come back. Where the hell to go?
Yep.
Let's go find it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's a hide and go seek, because we've been to many cases where Alyssa's like a bloodhound when it comes to portals. You just let her go. A bloodhound. You let her go in a house, she's gonna find it. But like you said, within minutes, as soon as we find it, she can come tell me, and she goes back to show me, so I can try to see if I can either photograph it or video it or get any type of hits off of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there. So here she goes again. We got to find this portal. If there is one still here. So here we go. Now, the only thing that I have experienced portal-wise is when Big Papa came up from Monroe, And when we were at Old South Pittsburgh, I was doing another blindfold session, letting my senses go in the Candyman's hallway.
I was trying to
And
which time?
this last time.
Okay.
And I seen the floor was vibrating. And I've never experienced that personally myself while investigating.
That's interesting when that happens.
Yeah. So I was like,
and real quick, just
Go
I don't know
ahead.
if you noticed a little while ago, but the stones and crystals were vibrating on my table earlier, making noise because Plank was moving the table. I could hear it.
I'm gonna have to go back, and when I go back and watch, I'm gonna have to go back and listen for sure, just for that, and be like,
You'll see me look around and smile and giggle.
I've been watching you, but I didn't know if it was George or if it was the other big guy or if it was Plank. I wasn't sure who it was.
That was Plank. He was showing off.
Okay. And we're gonna talk about Plank after we come back from the break, because I don't think I've ever heard his full story.
Okay.
Plank story.
Full Plank story.
The full Plank story. Man, that's a tongue twister. Golly. But yeah, the ground vibrated, and I've heard Alyssa talk about watching portals open and close, because she has opened them and closed them herself, her own, to use for different things. But my imagination went wild, but I've never physically seen it or experienced it in the state that I was in. So when the floor started vibrating, I asked everybody that was there, because there was 8 of us.
Yeah.
There's 8 of us there. And I'm like, does anybody else feel the floor vibrate? 6 said no. Of course, the 2 gifted people said yes. I'm like, okay. Just wanted to be aware.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the floor, I'm blindfolded. So I'm seeing this with my third eye. All I seen was this rip, this little jagged line appear and then start opening up. And I was like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And it was just not multicolors, not swirls, not wind. It was just almost like pixelation is all that I seen.
That's what you said then.
Yeah. It was just I could see the rip forming, but then it was just pixeled. And I could see the pixelation of the floor just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's as far as I could gauge it. And it was like I felt a pull to it, like something had me by the shirt and was just kind of gently, just like, come hither. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to watch, though. I'm going to watch. That's the only time I've ever experienced, though. I want to. I think portals are fascinating. Vortexes, all of it.
I've experienced vibrating floors, vibrating walls. Twice I was sitting, and it hasn't happened since that thing was gone. But it happened once in my home in Beatrice, and it happened once here. The floor, the carpet just started waving.
Wow.
I mean, you could, sitting on the couch, you could
feel it.
And, I was afraid to put my foot down because I was afraid I was going to fall through it. You put your foot into the wave in the water,
Go through.
And eventually it stopped. But it freaked me out pretty good. But, it's kind of like a glitch in the Matrix, but it's caused by paranormal.
Right.
Because that was, I'd only experienced one spirit at this time at that investigation. And after that portal opened, I don't know, I was probably realistically in that room for 5 minutes. And I was calm. I was watching. I was just kind of telling myself, like, nah, you're not going to take me in there. I'm going to watch. I'm going to be a bystander. And I kind of stood up on the wall because all of a sudden I got very uneasy. Because I went from having 8 people in the room to I had 50 in the room. And I have social anxiety. So I kind of stood up. And then all of a sudden, and this is a hospital we're in, and it's almost kind of like the old school operating type rooms, because there's the holes in the wall where the windows used to be, like the little slat windows. All of a sudden, hands are coming, like reaching through, like reaching after me. And I'm like, I remember cussing. I was like, oh shit. I was like, nope. There's a bunch of hands right here.
Help
And
me.
if yeah,
Me.
and I was like, hey, that's a lot. And I had to ask them, I was like, the real people, is anybody like right here? And they're like, no, we're all by the doorway, which was to my back. And I'm
Mhm.
like, there's a lot of people
right, here.
here.
Yeah.
Like right here.
But it was really cool to watch you do that because you never get to
I
experience
don't.
stuff
It's
like
like I said, for years I've tried to astral.
Yeah.
For years I've tried to conquer my meditations, and I've taken courses and classes from some top tier mentors out there. And
you get told the same thing.
I get told the same thing about this blockage, and I haven't been able to figure it out.
Have you ever had a dream that you're falling and snapped awake?
A couple of times when I was younger, yeah.
Then you've astral traveled.
I told him that, and he told me I was full of it.
You ain't full of it, girl.
I won't
That
say
is-
that I can't astral travel. I do what I call bobble, which is like I can, and it only happens when I'm extremely pissed off. It
It's
has to
like-
be attacking Alyssa or a team member or somebody that's there with me that I feel an obligation to protect. I have to get extremely pissed off before I can bobble on the astral plane, and you've got a solid minute. I'm a minute man on the astral plane right now. Like you got a
You said
solid
I'm a
minute
minute man.
before
I want you to.
I get snapped back into me. But all my life, I have lucid dreamt to the point where it wasn't just manipulation of my dreams. Like I was aware that I was awake and I could manipulate. It was if I got bit, if I got hit in my dream, I woke up with those bruises. I could smell, taste, feel everything in my dreams. And that's what put me onto the astral stuff, because I'm like, maybe I wasn't lucid. Maybe it was astrally. And I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. But what I did discover through all of my classes and meditations and just constantly working at it is I have this unique sense of if I ever take my eyesight away and you give me an hour, not even that, you give me 30 minutes to adjust without my eyes, I can tell you exactly where stuff is sitting or where people are standing in relation to me.
Like
and then I can, that's why I tell Liz, I'm like, if I ever go blind, it's game over. Like we're going to have some supernatural battles because I'm good with it.
I have a question. Keith, did you ever, like, through all of this, right? When you come to a level of it where you're like, okay, we're okay for right now. We're okay. Like just that, even if it was only for a week, just we're okay. Did you ever find at any of the different, I call them plateaus, the different plateaus of all of this that's building up and going down, and you're going through it and you're doing this and you're doing that? Did you ever find where you no longer dreamt? If you did, you could control it and pull yourself out of it. I don't dream. And it makes Kate, see, I don't. And he's like, I haven't. Since I started, I astral traveled when I was little. I didn't know what that was. As an adult, when I got into the classes of it and I got mentors, and I'm also someone who, if you put me in something and I get a taste of it and I like it, it's all gas, no brakes. I will burn myself out. So within like 3 months, I was like, I'm not dreaming anymore. Like I don't have any dreams at all. I don't want to have dreams. I want to sleep because I have to get up and function tomorrow. I don't want to have dreams. I don't dream anymore. Like I don't. If I do, something's happening. I have 2 or 3. We'll call them visitors just for the sake of the conversation. 2 or 3 visitors that come to me for specific reasons. I'm not gonna dream unless it is something that is a message to me. And I have had some that were warnings, but they were obvious. Like it was not something I had to figure out. You know, did you ever go through that? Where you just
I'd say I don't dream, but I know I do. But yet I don't. Everybody dreams, even if we don't remember that we do, because that is the subconscious's way of processing the day before, the week before. That's when the subconscious processes that, is when you're sleeping. Now we don't always allow ourselves to remember.
Right.
When I go to sleep is when I go out and astral travel and, do what I'm told and go deal with what I'm told to deal with. And a lot of times what I'm dealing with, the human psyche really can't comprehend and understand. So they're like, you're not remembering that one.
Yeah.
But if I do remember a dream, it is a message from someone, my an elder, what have you, them, whatever. And I use this example a lot. It's like I'm the cat in a suit of armor riding a shark with a sword in one hand and AK-47 in the other under a rainbow. And I'm supposed to figure out what
you're supposed to do.
I just want to live in y'all's brain. Just for give me a week. I'll take 4 days in yours and 3 in Keith's, or 3 days in yours and 4
I
in
do
Keith's.
believe that you would be okay with it. And we all know how I feel about it. Like, it's just, sometimes it's rough over here. We are in the trenches over here sometimes. It is rough. I want to give my brain to somebody sometimes. Yeah. I've told you that. I'm like, you'll say that. And I'm like, you could have it.
You don't want it.
Do you only astral while you are going to bed, or have there been occasions where you've just felt like you needed to astral just during the day while you're working on something, like, or a client needed you?
I don't, when I'm awake, I don't astral travel per se. I've tried, meditated, it don't happen.
Maybe that's what you need to do, is like him, more in sleep.
Now, I have been able to remove myself from my body, stand behind my body, see my body,
go back
into my body, here and there. But when I'm doing Reiki, it's like I'm both remote viewing and astral traveling. Now, I can't be in that room with this person in their home 1,500 miles away and tell you where the salt pepper shakers are and stuff like that. I can't do that. But I can see my client. I can see they're in that room.
And their energy.
And one of me is there. And that's how I can see and feel. If that makes sense.
No, it does, 100%. And one of my classes, because I anytime I meet somebody that can astral, I ask them this. In one of my classes, the guy who was trying to teach us how to astral, he gave us homework and things to do. When you see yourself on the astral plane, or when you're astraling, are you still you, or do you look different?
No, I'm me.
You're you. See, Alyssa's her, and 97% of the other astral travelers I have spoken with are them, unless they choose to change into their dragon, but that's a choice for them. Me, from the time that I've started bobbling back and forth on them, trying to astral, I have never been me. I am the same thing every time. It does not make sense. I told my teacher, because we had a very simple homework. Everybody went through and was saying what they seen and what they did. And I'm sitting here with my book of my notes of what happened. Like, please don't call on me. And I told him, I'm like, I don't want to say mine because mine's not anything like what they did. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I told him, and he was like, do you see yourself as you? And I'm like, no. And I'll tell you, I'm not me in the sense of what I look like now. I know that it's me because some of my features are the same. I'm a short dude, just like you. I'm 5'4", though.
Okay.
On the astral plane, it's his.
Oh, okay. I thought something was wrong. I'm sorry.
No, I think, I don't know if it's George Plank or somebody else talking. Trying to talk.
Yeah.
Told you, stuff happens there.
But I feel like I'm much taller. I'm a muscular build. Here's where the weird part comes in, though. I'm covered in flames, and my face is almost canine-like. Like if you would think of a werewolf halfway shifted, it's like that. I mean, gnarly canine teeth.
Okay, that actually makes sense. Now, when you asked me if I was still me, and I said yes, I guess I didn't specify. If I'm out working, I will be whatever form I need to be. Mm-hmm. The flames, it's a thing. Looking like Michael, the sword, flaming sword, shield, the whole 9 yards. Traits from, down under. It's whatever I need. But I don't become my dragon. I ride my dragon. Mm-hmm. He assists me in the process. Mm-hmm. Renee Cody on here. She's another teammate of mine. She comes and she knows where my keys are to my blue truck. She comes and gets my keys every night. She was out on the coast. I'm in the middle of Nebraska, and we go out in the truck. I don't ever remember, but she does. But then when she starts talking about it, then bits and pieces come back. It's just all in what you got to do. But whatever I do look like, I am still me.
Yeah, I say I know it's me just because my eyes are generally the same, but I don't know. Anybody that's ever, and I started seeing this before I ever watched this show, because I just watched this show last year, Teen Wolf. For some reason, I couldn't find nothing to watch, so I started Teen Wolf. There's a deputy on there that is a hellhound, and he's covered in flames, and he's got the werewolf teeth and shit. And I stopped, paused it, took a picture, sent it to Alyssa, and I'm like, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say I am in astral. This is what I'm seeing. And somebody had asked, or Lisa had asked, how are you dressed? I'm not. It's not that I am naked. I am just without that genitalia there. I know that there's no clothes. It's just solid flames and that the canine mouth.
There's not. Well, you don't have a gender. Where you
not.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's I don't know.
That's with aliens. When most people see aliens, I mean, there's no genitalia.
No gender. Yeah.
But I think that is a good time for us to stop for the moment. Let's take our last break. We'll kind of extend it so that you can go to the restroom.
Thank you. Are you empathic as well?
Might be.
That
might be.
You should have.
Or maybe one of your protectors there was trying to tell us that Keith really needs to go pee.
Yeah. The short breaks are rough when you gotta go.
Short breaks are rough. So we're gonna take a little bit. We'll take a little 2-minute break. Let you go pee. If you're not back when we go live, don't worry about it. Take your time. Do your business. We'll talk it through.
All right, you can talk. I'll turn Plank around.
Okay, that works. We'll talk to Plank.
All right.
We'll be right back after this little break, guys.
Download the new station calendar and never miss another show. To get it is simple and free. Just visit WLTK-DB.com to download or tap the subscribe button on our mobile app. Once the file is in your downloads folder, just double-click it, authorize it to your calendar, and boom, you have every show listed. Not only does it list the shows, but also the links to watch them live. We would like to thank Danny Loosemore for developing this for us and hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Get yours now at WLTK-DB.com or just click subscribe on our mobile app. See you at the shows. Put the power of this station in the palm of your hand and download our mobile app. Visit the App Store, Google Play, and search for WLTK-DB Talk Radio and download the app for free. Listen to past shows, download our station calendar right to yours, and even shop. the WLTK-DB Talk Radio mobile app, now available on the App Store and Google Play. Download yours now.
And we're back.
Ooh, I was trying.
Alyssa has joined
I
us.
thought I was gonna make it.
Tonight, we are talking with Keith of Cobra Paranormal and the Otter's Den. We are live on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. If you missed portions of tonight's live, don't worry at all. You can always go back to the Facebook pages, WLTK-DB, the group or the page. You can also go to Southern Ascension. You can also go to Podbeam. We have a private channel currently. Type in Twisted Ascensions. You can go back and listen to this live or our past lives.
I gotta ask him something before y'all get on your conversation.
Okay. And then you can also just go to WLTK-DB.com. I said hey to Plank.
He says hey.
And listen to this, because I'm telling you, there's been a lot of great information that Keith has gave us tonight. We've talked about his past, his trip with the Dead Files and Spirit Mechanix, and working with them, learning all the stuff he's learned. We've talked some astral traveling, which is what we're currently talking about right now. Talk about his possession. We've talked about a lot. Mimics, fays, blood curses, dragons. It has been a night. Wendigos. Yeah. It's been a great night. Yes. It's been a great night. So you had a question for
Yes. So it's really because you personally, you know them, so it's different for you to answer it. So I want someone that doesn't know them.
I got you.
So I have my best friend has a lot of what I consider to be very messenger and lucid and vivid and magical dreams that I know people wish they could have. And she has a really, really hard time understanding it. It causes a lot of anxiety for her because it's just really foreign, right? Like, this is someone who's just had what I consider normal dreams their whole life. But within the last year, that's happened. And it freaks her out. I mean, as it would pretty normal anybody, because, I mean, they're very real. And these are people that she knows aren't here. And this is something that hasn't happened. And now it's happening and it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So what would you, if someone called you and asked you, like, what can I do? What would you tell them? If they're in that situation, they're having this happen. And this is an adult, this is someone who's in adulthood that this is happening to. So what would you, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just so foreign and intense that
she's gifted.
Right. Agreed.
B,
Agreed.
Ask your guides for help. C, pick an object. Let's see here. Speaking of dragons.
Very nice.
Yes.
Pick an object.
Nice.
Right.
Set that beside your bed when you go to sleep. Tell yourself, if I think I'm dreaming, if I see this object, I know I'm dreaming. I can pick that object up in my dream, and then I have control over the dream. The dream does not have control over me.
Yeah.
I try that. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. I'm still getting there. Repetition is my friend. Traumatic brain injury, so things don't stick. I
Right.
got to do something, read something 20 times before it sticks. But there's verification. Have her try that.
Have her try that.
Have her try
So
that.
put her some. I think that would be a good idea. Something
Dream
small.
journal. Lisa brought up a dream journal. That'd be good.
I did tell her that months ago. Only it's different for me because it's so personal and I know so much of their personal life. It's hard for me to answer it like I would someone that was calling me, I guess.
Mhm.
Only because I know so much.
Yeah.
But she was pretty freaked out. And I mean, she's pretty calm now, but it was pretty intense.
Let me ask. So she's dreaming something and then later on it happens.
It's multiple things. That's one of them. Yes.
Okay.
And then she was having. Go ahead.
She's almost seeing the future in her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a word for that, and I cannot think of it for the life of me.
Premonitions.
Yes, premonition.
Premonitions.
As I said, gifted.
Mm-hmm.
If she, I'm just going to suggest something.
Okay.
And it's not just to promote the Spirit Mechanix, even though I'm giving a shameless plug. They have classes they do, the 101, 102, 202, 203, whatever. And they teach you about energy and shielding and energetic shielding, the different types of shielding, your auras. There's 3 of them that you have, not just what everybody sees. You can add glams to your aura. See me this way, not that way. Don't see me. You walk into a room and there's somebody you don't want to talk to. Don't see me. And if you know what you're doing, they won't. So I think those classes might be beneficial for her.
Right.
And a couple of the mechanics, if she reaches out to them on either their website or their Facebook page or spiritmechanix.com, and it's with an X, mechanics with an X.
Okay.
She can contact them there, and they do help people like that.
Okay. All right.
Cool beans.
I agree. What do you want? You want to say hey?
Hi. How you doing?
You say hey, Indy.
What you doing?
Indy girl, say hey.
Say hi.
Right here. Right here. Say hi.
Say hi. Hi. Hey. How you doing? Like, Dad, what's that weirdo on
She's like, Dad, are you guys almost done? It's my bedtime.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
She is a mess.
I'm surprised Freya hasn't made an appearance yet. She's right outside sleeping.
She's cute.
God, your dog is...
I've been watching her ever since the day you got her.
I've been saying this and been saying this and been saying this. I need to start a Facebook page for her.
Yeah. Freya's Adventures.
Yes.
Yes. Or
Frolicking Freya.
Frolicking. Yeah, that's good too.
And she got her name when I went to pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
We had an experience.
Oh.
I've been trying to think of a name for her all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And, she was kind of shy, but, she gave me a little kiss and whatnot. And I sat her in the truck, and I put a collar on her and put a leash on her and set her down. It was in a truck stop, but they had a little area for them to go. And I didn't know, nobody told me that she had never had a collar or a leash on her before. And she freaked out, pulled out of it, and started heading for the parking lot. And here comes the semi. So I dove, caught her, and she turned around and then looked up at me like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So I thought,
whoops.
What better name than a goddess of war?
Yeah. She chose violence.
You woke up today
Chose
and
violence.
picked that.
Oh, but it's kind of fitting. It's kind of fitting because Freya in our belief system.
Yes.
She gave up her husband for her necklace, which is probably why your dog Freya did not want to call her. Like, last time I got it, no.
Right.
That is awesome.
It didn't end well.
Didn't end very well. Let's not. Let's
not.
not.
I want to do that again.
That is awesome.
Kind of like Lilith. I will be equal or I'm out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a
God.
wild one.
Shoo-wee. Yeah, that's
a wild one.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa had to go toe to toe with her over a mutual friend of ours, Keith. That was never thought I would ever have a client or a case or any involvement with Lilith before.
You kept that entire notebook.
I did, because I was just in awe of like, no, it ain't. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Work
Yeah.
with her and not against her.
Mm-hmm.
Respect.
It was,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because somebody went in for war.
Okay, let me just
Let's got her ass handed to her for a second.
Let's be honest about this. The blind, I don't even know what to call it. Like, I had no clue. None. Zilch. None.
Surprise.
It was a, hey babe, when you get home, we got some stuff we gotta take care of. Okay. That's the phone call I got. Because we do have a normal life too, and I was out paying bills and at the grocery store. So I came home, get everything done, and I'm starting to ask questions because it's rounding about time for us to kind of sit down and get started, because I have a whole thing I have to do to relax myself because I'm awake. I'm not asleep. I'm awake. And so we're talking about it, and he kind of lets it slip out of his mouth. I'm like, wait a minute, back up. Go backwards. What did you say?
And I was honest. I was like, listen, this is what we think. I was like, I can't prove it. Neither can she. But she's got this feeling, and she said that she knows that this is what it is. Can you just kind of go peek? Have your shields ready.
What did I say? Peek? Peek?
Peek. Just kind of peek.
Peek? You want? Sure. You think that's what okay. Yeah. Never. I had never. And I was nervous and scared. And for 2 days? In a matter of 10 minutes, I was bruised and beat up physically, like they were on me. And I didn't work. I didn't go to work for 2 days.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk.
It was brutal.
Did you ask permission before you took the peek?
No.
Oh.
No.
No, because we didn't know what we were going into.
I didn't know I needed to. I had no idea.
Like, this is how, let me paint the picture for you. We are on our couch. Alyssa's doing her thing to relax. I'm on the phone with client. Like, okay, Alyssa's fixing to access you. You're probably go through the things. You're probably going to feel warm and tingly. That part's Alyssa. If you feel anything different, verbalize it so that I can mediate. Yeah.
Tom's like, I remember that.
So
yeah.
So when she get over there, I mean, she got her ass handed to her.
So the hell did.
And then, like, she got thrown out of the astral plane. And then we had to call a mentor of ours. She went back with the mentor, and that's when the conversation happened of, okay, sorry about that. Wasn't aware that you're real, but you're real. Got you. But this is what's going on. We need to know why you're doing it. And will you please stop, and will you leave, or what needs to be done so that you can
just tell us how to fix it, please.
Like, if the client messed up, tell us what happened so we can tell her how to fix it.
Yes. Yes.
I did for sure. Like, I'm glad we talked about that, because there's a lot of people that have said stuff to us about that. And they're like, does it ever go bad? Do you ever? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. It
handed to me.
It can in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And any time you even think you might be working with a specific entity.
Yes.
Do some studying on that specific entity, be it Lilith, Thor, Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
Different people have different views on different religions.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to know what kind of offering to have.
Right.
Hey, can we talk a minute?
Yeah.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually introduced to Lilith by somebody.
I hate my introduction. Wasn't that good?
She is pretty much telling me to shut the hell up right now. So I'm going to adhere to her advice and do that.
There we go. There we go. Yes, ma'am. I think that though, because we've had other astral, well, not me, I'm a battery pack for her. When she gets too drained, like she draws for me.
You can do that.
But, yeah. So with her and her other astral buddies, though, like y'all have encountered some wild and crazy things, between extraterrestrials, very common, very common thing. Battling with and against, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
One of our friends, actually a couple of our friends who do this professionally, they have actually stopped abductions. And I'm just like, huh? I mean, they walk me through the whole process and I'm like, this is wild. Some of your cases, like with the 3-headed demon dog thing.
Yeah.
With that.
Cerberus.
Yes. Yeah. Again, I thought it was cool to believe in it, but didn't think that it was actually gonna come out through a case. But sure enough, did.
Throwing through bones.
Yeah, and I mean, all he is he's not. I mean, he is mean.
Yeah,
if you make him mean.
If you make him,
but he's a protector.
He's guarding something.
Yeah. As long as you can find out what it is that went wrong to make him act out, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. Repair the situation. One case I had in Barnston. These people lived on a property with a creek running through it.
Mm-hmm.
There were still some natives there. The natives were not happy with how much trash was around the home and that they were not respected. And so we instructed them, okay, we're going to walk down to the creek with these items. The natives are showing me pictures of what to do and where to place them.
Yeah.
And so I instructed them. And so we did that. And they made a promise to get the property cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was great till they didn't clean the property up. Then they called me. Everything's happening again. Did you do this? No. Okay, it's been a year. Did you go back down and do the ritual again like we told you to on that same day? Well, no. Okay, this is why you're having problems again.
Right.
You want to fix the situation, go pick up the trash, do the ritual again, apologize to them.
And then everything will go away again.
Don't think it ever got done.
Yeah. Uh-oh. But I mean that we have told all of our clients, we give them an aftercare packet, basically. That's what we call it, aftercare packet. And similar, depending on what they're dealing with and what we found out is what I put in there. And I'm like, this is how you're going to cleanse because this is your faith base. So this is based on your faith. This is what you're going to do. This is who you're going to ask for help. And, at least every month or 6 months, whatever the case may be, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to keep it up because if you stop, I don't want you calling me saying it's happening again. I don't know why, because I'm going to tell you, yes, you do, because you're not keeping up with it.
Yes.
You have to.
We will give you the aftercare. We help a client. We give them aftercare.
Yep.
Spirit Mechanix gave me aftercare. It's very important to do that. You can't just go in and say, okay, it's gone and leave.
Yep.
Too many teams do that. And it's
shockingly.
Yes.
It shocks me still.
Well, to
it
me,
it wild me.
That's not as shocking as because I'm sure. I mean, it is shocking.
It blows
but
my mind.
This is what blows my mind though, because I'm sure that Spirit Mechanix, and you as a person alter a packet depending on your client's faith.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody doesn't believe in the Christian God or any of the Christianity faith, you can't give them an aftercare packet that's Christian based. I'd be like somebody giving me a Buddhist packet, even though I'm Norse paganism, involved in Norse paganism. There, you have to do what aligns with somebody, because if they don't believe in it and you tell them to do it, it's not going to work. They have to have that belief instilled in it. They have to have their intuition or not intuition, their intentions into it.
And not wrong, but sometimes you can take, whatever deity you are dealing with, and that, this is what you see. Okay. Every religion has a hierarchy. You got God, you got angels. There are different ranks of angels.
Yeah.
The Greek gods, it's similar. Every religion is similar. So what you're seeing, find that in their religion, say this is what you're dealing with, so this is what you need to do.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Lisa said, and the griffin.
Yeah, we ran into a griffin on that case. And yes.
That's cool. I bet it wasn't cool, but I bet it is now.
No, actually it was. It was pretty cool. It was there trying to protect as well. And so we actually got along and had a conversation. And we also found a giant scarab beetle hiding in their basement.
What?
Wow.
Interestingly enough, beetles that led me to this case, and I had to send this beetle home because on previous cases, I had learned do not squish the beetle.
Yeah, no.
I got kicked when I squished the beetle. On that case, I was finally shown the correct procedure to open the portal and send it back to Egypt, because one of those gods used them to send people to me to get help.
Oh, okay. And Robert White is he has saved our asses more times than not on cases.
Really has.
He is our Australian uncle, Australian uncle.
He has been Uncle Rob for like 5 years, bro.
Hey,
Like,
Robert.
seriously, that's just what we call him, Uncle Rob. Our kid calls him that. Like they've watched him grow up.
That guy, I'm sure you in the astral plane are similar to Robert, but most people when they go into astral to help a client, it's just them. Hell no, he's coming in with like a freaking 1,000-something army with him.
Ancestors.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, all right, sir. But Keith, my man, these 2 hours have flown by.
It has.
I only got to make it for an hour, and it just flew.
It flew.
It did.
We're definitely going to have to get you back on. Me and you've got to have a lot of conversations.
Get you two on the Otter's Den sometime too.
Hey, absolutely. We'd be honored to. But before we go, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can reach out to if they need assistance.
I got to ask.
Alrighty. As mentioned before, Spirit Mechanix, I am a member of them, so you can reach out to them. Steve farms out whatever needs to happen to whoever needs to do it based on their abilities. I have taken the RNN or the Otter's Den to the RNN words are hard.
They are.
RNN Network on Facebook. Me and Joni do a show every other Monday on astrology and spirituality. And sometimes I have other guests on the off Mondays. So, like I said, love to have you guys on. And that is pretty much where you can find me.
Awesome. Keith, it has been an absolute honor, sir.
Oh, wait.
Honor.
I forgot about Drunken Oracle. Drunken Oracle.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were still doing it. I was like, I'm pretty sure I just watched you, but maybe you're not right now. So.
Yeah, once a month. It's whenever we can get together. Me and my sister, Christy Ayers, we do Drunken Oracle. If you have not seen it, if you need some giggles,
it's great.
It is great. A phenomenal live.
We take our tarot and oracle cards and we drink, and we encourage you to drink, because the more you drink, the funnier we are. And we read those cards so terribly bad that you have no choice but to giggle.
I love it. I love it.
And you and Christy together are a recipe for trouble, and I love it.
Like,
not kidding.
I love it.
I know everybody feels different about it, but they have Drunken Oral. Somebody needs to do like 420 Oracle. Just 420 Oracle. I'm not talking about nothing else. Just 420. I'm serious. Could you imagine?
You just gave so many people that are listening live now and going to go back and listen.
Hey, I will watch you if you do it. It's a good idea. I do condone the 420 thing, but that's it. That's it. That's all. Just the stuff that grows. That's it.
There you go.
That's
Nothing wrong
it.
with
But I do think it would be cool because their Drunken Oracle was a fabulous idea. It is great. I'm sad it only happens once a month. And when it slowed down, I was a little sad because I just be watching, but it's funny and I love it.
Girl, try doing that more than once a month.
Oh, I can. No, I'm good. Thank you. I mean, I like watching it, but no. I can only imagine.
It takes a lot out of you because as we're reading, I mean, Spirit's actually coming through and giving messages.
Right.
A lot of people, the next day, people are like, you hit that on the head. You know, exactly as you say. I'm like, I have no idea. If Spirit's talking, and Christy's the same way, if Spirit's talking, but when that reading's done, it's gone.
Yeah.
You can make room for that next one to come in.
Yes.
And half the time I forget to pull in as I'm putting out, as we're drinking. So the next day I'm pretty damn worn out and I need 3 days recharge.
Right. I could see that.
But I was going to mention also real quick, when you are being her battery, are you pulling in to recharge yourself as she's draining you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing like it's almost like a cycle. Like I'm pulling from the top of me, and I'm also, even though she's taking it out, whatever's left is going back through the earth and coming back around.
Okay, you're cycling. Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ed. Thank you. Saturday every month, Paranormal Outlaws.
There we go. Fantastic. Keith, thanks so much for coming on again. It's been an absolute blast.
Thank you.
We're going to talk to you very soon. Very soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Love you, my brother. Have a great night.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya,
everybody.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.